Collective, Empowered Voice Collective. I'm here with
Oh.
my great friend, Laurie Rock.
Hmm.
And some of you know Laurie, some of you do not. Wanted to tell you, give a little intro for our Laurie and
Oh,
our Laurie, my
yeah. Snuggles.
hearts, snuggle
Little
bug.
hearts everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. I can,
Wait, I can react. Let me react.
yeah, we do that. Okay. So, I have a bio here and I'll kind of amp off of it that Lori really truly is the go-to holistic weight loss expert and longevity coach for women over 40 and how to
Mhm,
ditch dieting. So it
mhm.
leads with weight loss, but it's also something else that you're going to hear about. How to reset your hormones, which is a mysterious thing for me, but I'm learning more, and how to age radiantly. She's
Mm.
a former RN and senior healthcare executive with over 30 years of experience in transformation and healing. And so I love this. You're now leading a revolution that's gaining steam in how women heal their bodies from cell to soul.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
founder of the Healthy Thriving Women, not the healthy, Healthy Thriving Women and the Undiet Method.
yeah.
So we could get into more detail there, but I'd just like to get into welcoming you and getting into our talk today. So welcome, Lori.
Well, thank you, and hello, everybody. If and Deb Saroop, thank you so much for the honor of getting to share this really sacred mission that is like my life's work. And if you're here listening, this is like the pain and the struggle, and what takes most women down from fully completing their mission is the struggle that Dev Stroop and I are about to dig in on, that she's dug in on. The pain of dealing with your hormones, your diet, your body image, your emotional trauma, all the stuff that's locked in there, emotional eating, nervous system dysregulation, and just being a freaking woman today, alive in 2025 in this crazy AI, masculine culture, right? Like we have some really tough stuff to do, and a lot of women, all of that stuff that I just mentioned shows up in such a way that they are dysregulated. And the most powerful leaders I know are struggling in this area of hormone balance, weight loss, and God forbid we're over 40, 50, 60, and we're like, is this all there is? You know, I'm just
Right.
aging. Oh shit, can I just fight the fight? You don't got to fight the fight, you can step into it. So that's what we're here
Yeah.
to talk about today. So
Yeah.
I'm really that
Great.
we're here. Grateful.
Yeah. And since we last talked, maybe since we last talked with you here, I'm actually now a client of yours moving
Yeah.
through this journey, and I've been in it about 6 months. So we might have talked when I was earlier on. Um,
Yeah.
but now I've got all sorts of things to say that are really, for me, are very fascinating in that there's the longing that we think is in losing weight.
Mm.
We
Hmm.
think but there's a longing for some of the things that you just said, for living a full, balanced, thriving, content life,
Mm.
and that the way into it is what we're going to be talking about. It's really fascinating to me. So let me ask
Yeah.
you. So
Yeah.
what brought you to this? What inspired you to create the Undiet Method and Healthy Thriving Women, and a little bit about your story?
Well, it's great. I think it's like every woman's journey. Like, how many? You're probably like, oh my God, is she telling my story?
Mm,
It's the story where you're kind of fit and you're doing all the right things and it's working it for a while. You're going to the gym, you're eating right, and your mood's relatively stable, and then all of a sudden you're starting to get like a little bit more irritable, you're starting to feel a little disconnected from yourself, maybe you get a little belly fat, and all of a sudden you're just like, why did I just snap at that guy for cutting
Mm,
me off in traffic, and like I didn't want to shoot him the finger, but I did. you know like all that stuff starts happening, we become this reactive person, we start to not know ourselves, and then that's kind of what happened to me. Is I was like walking around, I grew up in an extremely obese family, like that was like
mm,
constantly talking about diets and things like that.
mm,
My aunts even owned a diet center,
mm.
right? So it was like part of the vernacular. I have a poem from cracking me up from when I was like 8 years old. Oh, what a riot. We're always on a diet. Mom, Lori, and Lee forever on their way.
Oh, really? Wow.
Like I remember, I don't know how yeah, it's just so
8 years
funny.
old, 8 years old. And
8
you're
years old, like I was getting checked to Weight Watchers meetings. So I mean, like I'm hardwired programmed, right? And
right.
so I definitely fought it. I did the whole thing you do when you're fighting it, which is what our culture teaches us to do. Something's wrong with you, woman, girl. There's something wrong with you, and you need to fix yourself, right? And you definitely need to be, bringing home the bacon, frying up in the pan, and never let him forget he's a man kind of vibes. And so you got to be sexy, but not only that, you got to have your shit together. You got to be a leader. You got to crush it in the boardroom and the bedroom, as they say. Right. So that was kind of my vibe. So I kept it off. I was like, I fought against how I grew up. And slowly but surely, I was an RN and I became a healthcare executive. And also, was in the, had a lot of personal stuff going on, that had to really, so like everybody else, right? And so I was constantly under this barrage of hormonal imbalance that I did not understand, even as an RN. You think but you don't know. You don't know. I mean, the amount of RNs and doctors and dietitians and nutritionists that come through my program is ridiculous, right? And we think we should know, but there's so much misinformation out there. So you're working out, right? I don't know, maybe this is you. You're working out, you're exercising, you're going to yoga, you're going to Pilates, you're eating clean, you're not drinking too much. You know, you're only having a treat on that, and all of a sudden, but you're still putting on weight, and it's so frustrating. And that's what happened to me. I was super healthy, fit, did all the things. I knew all the things, 30 years of holistic health. I've been studying this stuff for so long. And before I knew it, poof, I was 65 pounds overweight. It seemed like overnight. Of course, it wasn't. It was because I didn't understand how my body communicated to me the whole time. It was, in fact, communicating to me the whole time.
That
So
is,
six,
yeah,
yeah.
that is key, like how your body communicates to you. That's been a fascinating part of this journey with me is learning how to have that communication, which I'm 65, and
Mhm.
in that process, not ever really listening to my body anywhere near like I am now. It doesn't mean that we've gone through nonviolent communication and we completely understand each other.
Right.
We're going to
Right. It's a
become experts, but
process.
we're learning. I'm learning, and yeah, it's really
Well,
potent.
it's like a good marriage, like everything, and a good friendship and
Right.
everything. It's about this really great communication and truly listening,
Truly
but
listen.
not listening for your own agenda, like listening, and diet culture teaches us that agenda would be what's right and wrong with you. This is the right way, this is the wrong way. Our body communicates in much more subtle ways, where it tells us like, hey girl, this is a little bit off. This is the preference I have right now for what I need in this phase of my life, which could be different, not only within the 28-day cycle of a woman, and also postmenopausal women also have a cycle. It goes more along the lines with the moon, but you have different messages within that, but you also have different messages within the span of a lifetime, right? It's going to be different each time and
Right.
different what you need. And then, of course, environmentally, what's happening in your life and what your preferences are, right? So these things that we're if we learn to communicate, we can actually learn to create a beautiful language, like a beautiful symphony that like can guide us through our life, and we can like enjoy the process. And you literally don't have to diet ever again.
Yeah, because how many of us, myself included, I've done so many fasts and eating protocols, and then I did one protocol that I had a lot of success with, my late 50s into my early 60s.
Hmm.
Lost a lot of weight, felt really, really good. But when I got to the weight that I wanted to maintain, which actually, as an aside, my husband thought was too small, too thin, was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't know how to maintain it because it
Right.
was structured on restriction. So if I
Yes.
restrict myself down, how then where do I go from there? And I just wasn't, they had a protocol for that, but I wasn't effectively able to get in that protocol, and I just kind of did fuck it and went back up to the way of being, that
Well, I love that's what you're saying because like that's diet culture, right? No matter how it's framed or how it's marketed or how
Mhm.
it's labeled. And
Mhm.
yay, there's a program, but there's actually a way to train your body so that it knows exactly what to do. And it's not just like intuitive eating. It's not that simplified. It's actually the process that we are hardwired to understand our innate wisdom and our innate knowing coupled with today's modern science and all the newest and latest and greatest science that teaches us actually how we work. If we were really tuned into how we're wired and tuned into what is, you know, actually fueling our cells, that thing that we cannot touch or see, there's actually a way that we would know it. But with all the noise in the world, without being taught or without having to do a program or anything,
Yeah,
right? With all the noise in the world, our nervous system and our bodies and our minds and our guts and our hormones are so dysregulated that we can't actually hear that calling until we train it. So we train it and we train it and we train it with the frameworks of really understanding your mind. Because restriction isn't going to get you anywhere, even if you have a protocol to maintain restriction or do this or have a cheat day or whatever. That's just a total 100% bullshit. I've never seen it. 90% of diets fail long term. And anything that's got like a restriction put on it is just a formula for disaster. You only have so much willpower, right? Willpower is an exhaustible resource, which is why it does not work. And that works with like you cannot shame yourself out of weight loss. You cannot restrict yourself to balance your hormones. The body that is in complete and like being told that is feeling so much what emotions, right? Like so many deep emotions, shame, blame, guilt. What the fuck is wrong with me, right? And then society's just mirroring that back, and there's no amount of willpower, stress, or fix it biohacking protocol that is going to change anything long term. Will you have the quick fix? Can you take the weight loss? Yeah. Vicky lost like 100 pounds over and over and over again, kept it off for a year or two, right? So, oh, I won. And then all of a sudden,
yeah,
because
back up. Yeah, yeah.
just like you, right? Just like what you experienced. You get the fuck it's the rebel didn't get satisfied because she never got hurt.
Yeah, and to speak to this is interesting because to speak to my own experience, which I think would be helpful, is
Yes.
I kind of, jumped in with you. You and I are friends and colleagues, and I was like, well, what about me? I'm going to join you.
I know we were just talking. You're like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can do
and I
that.
remember you kind of went, what? I'm like, okay,
You're
all
like,
right, good.
you're like, it sounds like you found the secret sauce. I was like, girlfriend, I think I have. It works 100% of the time. If the women show up and do the work, I've it's structured in such a way
Yeah,
that it works hands down because it's how we're designed in the order scientifically of how our body actually works.
right.
Yeah,
So
I,
one
I
thing that
love
I find there's a couple things I want to speak to real quick in my own experience is in the past I've had eating disorder binge purge, and I haven't purged in a long time, but binge, sure, baby, I'm into that. And so what I found in my early days of working with you and working this thing is that I would eat way too much.
yeah,
And then, now I'm kind of like, I'm much more tuned in to just eating because I'm hungry. But sometimes I will binge, right? Sometimes I'll just kind of cut loose and go get a big thing of cherries and have some cereal and not that cherries are bad, but trying, it's just not what I'm working with right now. But what's fascinating is that I don't feel guilty. I'm not beating myself up. I go, oh, okay, that happened. What was that telling me? Let me see how I can get back on track in the way I want to be on track, not because I'm beating myself up that I did that thing, but that I want to be back on track with my own personal goals.
Yeah.
So I'm learning this whole and in all of that, there's this fascinating, which I'm still, kind of pondering, this fascinating healing, deep healing around what is that binging thing all about? And I'm still working with that, but I'm not stressing over it. There's some sort of softening and, because that goes way back. That goes back to my teenage year, probably before, I don't know when it started, but it was
Yeah.
a way of coping. It was a way of, I've had a lot of addiction stuff, but this is the kind of, you got to eat, so you're dealing with your addiction. So I just want to bring that in is that there's this sort of natural softening into an authenticity of self that's self-guided rather than I gotta do this thing because it's the answer. I've got more things I could say, but I'm going to leave it at that and let you go. You know, so
Well, I love what you're saying because I've gotten to witness your healing, and I think most women are struggling with this depth of emotional eating and eating as like a quick release, a quick chemical fix, and you do get the relief, the instant release. We know it doesn't last. That's why you want to keep going and keep going. You get the spikes and the withdrawals, right? Somehow you got to control your hormones, right? And because we're so we're so dysregulated, and our hormones are so out of balance, we are not it we're trying to fix it. We're like going, please fix me. I don't know how to emotionally regulate. And so in the process that we learn here, I mean, you're playing the awareness game, which is my process that I created over 30 years of deep transformation work, deep healing, and all these things. And it's this wacky process that actually, without having to necessarily dig it all up, you start to resolve. Your nervous system starts to balance. You start to fall back in love with yourself, is what I'm watching and hearing you say. And I love hearing it because we don't always get to talk. And I'm like, oh
yeah,
man, this,
yeah,
yeah, it's so good. Like, I mean, the
yeah,
brightness in your eyes, the energy in your cells, like the energy in your physical body, like everything you're sharing for me, how active you are. I'm like, ah, and all this is evidence, right? All this is evidence that our body is coming totally back online and healing. And that's what we need to learn, and what the benefit of having a proven process that's based in science to support you, so that you're like, I'm going to experiment within the container of what we know, to what we currently know as truth, our best truth that we know. And the body starts to go, you are communicating to me in a way that I relate to. And let me show you, baby. Let me give you some, let me treat you back. I'm going to give you back your mood. I'm going to give you back your sex drive. I'm going to give you back your patience and your calm. Yeah, let me give this back to you, because you just need to learn how to communicate with your body. And once you do, you get that thing. You guys are you already know this. You get like cortisol, right? Everybody talks about that, right? So I'll say something you're familiar with, but this is so complicated. Like, that if I told you all the science and all the things and everything that are involved, it would just be like, oh my God, I can't do that. But the thing is everything is hardwired inside of you. There is nothing that is not innately inside of you, that if you could just learn to peel back the layers, it will start to reveal itself. And your system and your body and your biology is a self-correcting organism, and it is just aching, it is just aching to feel whole, feel good, and take you from 50, 60, 70, and beyond to thriving. I mean, honestly, it's such bullshit in our culture. We're like, after 50, after 40, shit, you're thrown out with the bathwater, because all your best years are behind you. There's absolutely zero way we would be wired to live past our children being self sustaining, right? We live past our kids being able to take care of themselves, that we go into the matriarch phase of life, we go into the elder wisdom phase of life We go past menopause, past childbearing years for a reason, is because that is the most powerful season of a woman's life. She has got all that extracurricular activity off her shelf, and she can now focus on her deeper wisdom. And, on a biological perspective, she's able to take care of the tribe, pass down her wisdom, make sure the whole tribe survives. So the elder women in other cultures like Japan, they call menopause your second spring because it's the next level of growth. And I'm not sure, I think it's Libby Weaver that might talk about it. It's about the grandmother hypothesis. Many people are talking about it. The grandmother hypothesis, which is basically what I just said,
Hmm.
which is the elder woman is hardware biologically designed. Her amygdala decreases, the amygdala being the fear center in your brain, decreases, gets
Oh,
smaller.
I love that.
Yeah, so you give a less fucks, right? Not that I don't give a fucks to self, but you give less fucks about like what people think, what you're supposed to be doing, and you focus on what really matters, which makes you such a critical element. So for the women who have a voice to share, for the women who are on a mission, who are spending, I don't know, Dev Sarup, how much energy would you say you were spending on this area of life prior to, coming through this program?
Well, I want to preface it by saying that one of the, and let's hold that question, make sure we get back to it, but I want to preface this because this is really important to answer that,
Yeah,
is
go.
that, I mean, I've been into wellness for as long as I can remember. First yoga
Yep.
class when I was 16,
Yeah.
figuring it all out. Diet for a Small Planet, off we go, So
Yeah.
all that, way, way back. And being a yogi and a yoga teacher trainer and a sound and mantra expert and all these things that I've done. And all the ways that we look for and there's a huge economy out there for advocating uh, how to feel well, right?
Ah,
And it's we're talking about diet, but there's all sorts of other things. Oh, I'm looking for peace
so
of
much.
mind, so I'm going to be doing some breathing, or I'm looking for a solution to something, so I'm going to go to this thing. I'm going to go to the psychologist. I'm going to go all these ads that come through, take this pill, eat whatever you want as they're eating a burrito, love burritos, but like they're saying, quit the keto, just eat the burrito.
Dev's new
Right.
bumper sticker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, right, right. So all the ways that we're trying to fix something, and I am just fascinated by approaching it primarily with the way I'm eating and communicating with my body, how many other things fall into place,
Boom.
right?
Boom.
So like I asked my husband, 4 months ago or something, and I said, so what do you see? What's the difference? And he has about this much patience for those kinds of questions, like that much. And he's like, what are you talking about? And so I said, so, what's different? Do I look thinner? What is it? And he goes, you're more enjoyable. And I was like, okay, great, but I didn't think I was particularly unenjoyable before. But I do validate that completely because I am more content than I have
Oh,
ever experienced that I can remember.
boom.
Right,
That's it. That's the result of nervous system rewiring. That's
right,
the lived experience of hormones being balanced. That's the
right,
lived experience of gut health. That's the lived experience of a detox system that's in order. That's the lived experience of emotional trauma starting to wiggle and move out of your nervous system. That's the lived experience of bringing all those practices together, not in a theoretical brain way, but in a heart brain balanced way, in a heart brain coherence kind of way, where you're starting to let your actual self, which is your heart, inform your brain and how you live in all of your practices that you choose that align with who you're being,
right.
right?
With you,
Yeah.
yeah. And so if all of that, so
Yeah.
saying all of that because the kind of diet, weight, what do I eat thing is a smaller percentage of so I would say I don't know. Well, let me articulate that clearly. If
Yeah.
I'm just looking at diet, what you eat, right? And
Yeah.
that would be a smaller percentage of energy spent on problem solving than the broader things of what problems are being solved. So what's in my mind is 70%
Yeah. The,
time spent on solving problems in all sorts of different ways and then going, well, wait a minute. Wow, I'm just eating differently plus, other kinds of things, mindset things and stuff like that. But it's primarily how I'm nourishing myself and how I'm listening to my body and all these things that I've been trying to fix for so long are
yes.
being fixed. Like, we talk about
Yes.
the moment when, if when
Yeah.
you're working with Laurie, you have your moment when. And mine is to be the what do you call the chanteau, the sitting on the stage singing jazz with the band. And yeah, I've been a musician and a singer all my life, but I've had trauma that has kept me from feeling really confident to do the jazz stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I just booked my gig.
Woo!
I've got the band. I've got the venue. I mean, I've done a little bit of that before. I did it pre-pandemic, but it's like, and I had to heal my voice because I had acid reflux, and it's a
So
little,
this is big. Don't run through that because this is such a big deal. You had acid reflux. So for a singer, she lost, you were telling me, and you've shared this a couple times inside our group because it's so profound,
yeah,
right? The acid reflux. So many people have that, right? It's
yeah,
super common. And it can destroy your life and it can actually kill you ultimately if it gets bad enough,
right.
right? And so what's really powerful is that you did the work to communicate to your body. Nourishing your body is a great thing you said. Nourishing your body, how? Nourishing, yes, with food. Nourishing your body, yes, with habits. Many, many, many other habits that we teach you inside the tribe, but nourishing yourself with your thoughts, nourishing yourself with your state of being. So it's the emotional well-being and the experience and the nervous system you're saying that lends itself to making choices that are in alignment with your greatest and highest good in that moment. And then your whole body said, hell yeah, Dev Sarup. Now you're listening to me. Now I'm going to heal your throat. And I'm going to give you, your whole system and I'm going to give you back your voice. I like literally when you told me the first, couple, I mean, what was it, like in tears? I was like, you're kidding me,
Yeah,
And I
and
like, yesterday I was at my friend's because we she would do some she's gonna do some cooking classes for us actually, but I showed her, look at the text I just got. Desiree just like she booked her second gig.
oh, cool.
Who thinks that you're gonna have? That's the kind of results that are so common for women. Like you think you come for a diet. It's not the weight loss that you want. It's the happiness. It's the joy. It's the mental and emotional and the food freedom.
Yeah, and yes to all of that. And I want to talk about the weight loss thing
Yeah.
because that is happening later for me than I anticipated.
Yeah. And it's happening. Yeah.
It is happening, and
Yeah.
it doesn't happen as quickly as it might. It would if I was on a restrictive.
Absolutely. You can force it a million
Yeah,
percent.
yeah,
Yeah, that's why it works. That's why they get you hooked, and then there's something wrong with you. And that's why you keep going back and forth. You
right,
get hooked. You force the body into compliance. The
right.
body will listen.
Yeah,
You pick out the weight releases, right? This is just like the GLP-1s. This is just like any other form of restriction. It's like biohacking before you're ready. Everybody's taking berberine and the natural GLP-1s and all this shit if you ask me, and destroying their metabolisms, never getting to the root of what caused their weight gain in the very first place.
yeah,
That's the primary thing. Who gives a shit? You're gonna it's just gonna come chasing you back. And when it does chase you back, the weight, it actually adds on more because it wants to make sure you keep it this time because you haven't gotten to the point where it knows that it's safe to let go. You can't biohack, you can't heal, you can't GLP-1 on top of a dysregulated nervous system and a system that isn't healed. If your system isn't healed, who gives a shit what you take? I don't care. Yes, it's nice, it's good. There are some things. If you're about ready to kill yourself, and I'm being very serious because that is so common in women over 40, please go get some estrogen. Please go get some bioidentical hormones. And I highly recommend that. It's not that, it's that your body can come very, very, very far back online to the point where everything you do to biohack, which I'm a big fan of, can ultimately work better. But if you put in something on top of a liver that is congested and not healed, A, your body can't even break it down efficiently. B, it goes to a gut that is completely dysregulated, doesn't have the proper bacteria, is all out of balance and just sending you signals for cravings, and it doesn't know how to absorb those things into the body. So basically, you're putting, icing on top of a shit cupcake, I like to say, right?
Ooh,
Oh, it's literal. It's disgusting. I love being gross. It's so fun.
yeah, right.
But the bottom line is if you do things in the reverse order where you heal, you get to the root of your weight loss struggle, you regulate, you learn the habits and things, the practices that work for you, that support you and sustain you, that you choose into, ultimately you create a system that says, oh, baby, now give me some of that whatever super guru food. And then it's going to use it. It's going to use less of it and save you money. And it's going to ultimately work for you.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
And that,
That's really beautiful.
and the thing that I want to add about this, about actually, which has been a really powerful anchoring for me, is that fat is keeping you safe. It's serving you.
1,000,000%.
So you're not like, so I think about that because I've gone through frustration that I haven't released the fat as quickly as I wanted to. And Lori knows all about that. But
Yep.
but the having that framing of that, okay, I'm not quite safe yet.
Yeah,
So something's going on here on the cellular level, biological cellular, and also the energetic spiritual cellular level that I'm
that's
not
right.
ready to release that. Now it's happening.
It is. Yeah, it's starting to fall off now
Yeah.
because you did all the work leading up to it. Now it will stay off.
Yeah. And now here's a win I haven't shared with you. I have
What,
a
what, what, what?
fabulous massage therapist that you'll come and see when we're here. She's so good.
Okay.
And she and her husband are just so good. And so she was working on me. She's been working on me for years, 25 years or something, off and on. And she was like, wow, this thing you're doing, your collagen is way improved. Working on
Yes.
my legs, and she was feeling that my skin, something I wouldn't tune into. I mean, what?
Yes.
But here she is, somebody who touches bodies all the time, and she knows my body.
Yeah, you become more like vibalicious, like on a real level, like your skin becomes tighter, like the wrinkles start. I mean, I have people whose gray hair hasn't happened to me yet, but people's gray hair
Yeah,
starts turning back, right? It's not
yeah,
happening over here. But right, but they're like all of a sudden their wrinkles are, start going away. Their skin gets tighter. They're like, they're glowing. I mean, everybody's skin, I don't wear makeup, right? Everybody's skin starts to look like they're just glowing because of this cellular health. And then the body starts to springboard again. You actually can. I promise you, if we did all the little measurements and did your biological age, you would be aging in reverse. And that's how it is, and that's what your body is actually capable of doing to up to a point. Of course, you're not going to be Benjamin Button. Don't worry about it. No.
right. So we could keep talking forever, right? But I think let's talk about, you have a couple of master classes coming up on the
Yeah.
7th and the 15th of August.
Yep.
And I'll pop the link for that in the chat so that people can register for that. Um, so just what would be a what would you hope people can take away from this conversation and move? and how would they move? So first, what would you hope they would take away, and how can they move forward if they're interested in connecting with you and this approach?
What I want every woman to know, and this program is only for women, is that because you're the head of your family, it's going to affect your whole family. But what I want you to know is that there actually is a way. There actually is a way. I've taken 30 years of holistic health, former RN, former healthcare executive, and unreasonable amount of certifications over that time because I was so freaking desperate. I'm like a certified nutritionist, a hypnotherapist, breathwork, all the things, right? Because I was so like Dev Sarup, doing yoga, all this. I was so desperate, and I finally figured out with the science how to do it. And there's a way. There is a way for you to break free and not only age well. I hate the term age gracefully. Just throw it out with the bathwater. Let's age radiantly. Let's reclaim. Let's set it up. Let's like if you've got some dreams on the shelf, know that if you get all that mental energy back, that you can actually reclaim your life. You can reclaim your vitality. Your hormones will balance. Your life will balance. The weight will start releasing at the way that it is supposed to. If you are willing to show up for yourself, your body will show up for you, your brain will show up for you, your heart will show up for you, and they will all align so that you probably have a dream you haven't even dreamt yet. And I hope that you're 50, I hope that you're 60, I hope that you're 70 thinking, fuck yes, I am ready to take my life back, because you absolutely can. We have so many women going, I've never, Steph Sarup is just like, she's just saying exactly what every other woman says, which is why I'm like, this is like for all the work. It's like it's working, and it works, and it works. And I've never, ever, not one time. And this means that there's nothing wrong with you if you're listening. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing special. There's no diagnosis. There's nothing wrong with you, or nothing so special or broken or anything about you that you don't qualify to heal. You absolutely can change your life. You absolutely can step into radiance. You absolutely can go out and take your last breath like, fuck yeah, I lived really, really well, and I kicked ass, and I left it all on the court. That's what I want you to go out with. And weight release is just a side effect of that, of
Boom.
loving you.
There you are. Boom.
Boom,
There it
shakalaka.
is.
Boom.
Boom, shakalaka, right there.
Boom,
That's all.
shakalaka,
Yeah.
baby. And I want you to come to my master class. Come learn. It's called What Your Doctor Didn't Tell You, right? Former medical person here telling you the system is not designed for your well-being. It is designed for you to stay in the system, right? That's where the money is. My goal is for you to actually get free. What your doctor didn't tell you. 3 secrets to hormone harmony, radiant aging, and underline, capitalize, lasting weight release. Absolutely. You can learn how your body works and have a manual to walk away with so that you can live and go do your mission. Go write that fucking book. Go take the stage, go speak, go tell them, go coach the women. Go. You got to have what to do it. You have to have energy. You have to have vitality. You have to have brilliant, vital energy. Why did Dev Sarup just get booked on a jazz stage? Because she feels confident. What is confidence? Confidence is energy.
Yeah.
Confidence is vitality. Confidence is knowing she can. And I'm just so like excited. Her voice healed. Steph Roop's your sister. Her vision healed. I'm telling you, you are a miracle, walking, talking miracle. Come learn more in my masterclass. 3 secrets to lasting weight loss, hormone harmony, aging radiantly. Dev Sarup has the link. It's laurierock.com/ what your doctor didn't tell you. Probably easier to just click on the link, or come visit me. Come visit me. Reach out directly. You could, if you think like, oh my gosh, I want to check this out, we'll have a no pressure talk. We'll have something where we could just have a chat, 30 minutes, and you can at least walk away with some sort of a few steps, a micro plan to get your life back on track, because it's not even as hard as you think. It's absolutely doable. So I'm here. So come to my masterclass, or please book a call, and no pressure. We just could chat and get to know you. So
Perfect.
thank you.
Good. Links are going into the group, and I'm gonna stop the live stream and stop the recording.